Nobody enjoys throwing an entire family's things on the tree lawn. This person has known that this has been coming for 7 months. This person has been stealing from the owner of this property for 7 months now. And, today is the day.
I won't stop till I hear him say,
Everybody loves making the landlord the bad guy, right? Well, not everybody. I should say just the left, right? Just the libs, just the wokies, okay? All the liberals, all the bleeding hearts, they love to make the landlord the bad guy, okay? They always think the landlord is this evil robber baron, and the tenant is always the victim, right? Doesn't matter the circumstances of the situation. Like, for example, this particular eviction that you're watching. And by the way, stay tuned through the whole video here if you want to see the video of that eviction completely unedited and in its entirety. I will show that when I'm done talking, done getting my point across. You guys could stick around and watch the entire thing because I know you guys love watching live evictions caught on tape. It's like a freaking car crash for some of you animals. You can't avoid looking at it. Some of y'all are going to get yourself into a fender bender because you're freaking watching. You're like tweaking your neck. You're turning it so fast to watch those car crashes. But that's okay. We're here to serve, right? We are here to help you learn about real estate and entertain you at the same time. Now, back to my point. When you have evictions like this one, no matter the deplorable behavior that the tenant has exhibited, there's going to be those wokies, those liberals, those people on the left, those victim mentality types that are always going to blame their landlord no matter what. Like in this particular one, this tenant was stealing from the landlord for over 7 months, a point that I made throughout the original video a multitude of times, and people still were talking about how it was evil that we were evicting her and we're evicting her in the snow when we're bad people. This video got so many views and so many comments, it actually ended up on Netflix, right? Netflix picked it up, okay? There's a comic, he's kind of like the poor man's Aziz Ansari, I guess you could say. This dude named Hasan Minhaj, he picked it up and put it on his show, The Patriot Act. It was like, I don't know, season 3 or 5 or something. It was like episode 1 of whatever season of that show he launched during the COVID pandemic. Even though this particular eviction happened, I think 2 years, like this eviction happened in either 2017 or 2018, even though it was well beyond COVID. They pick it up and on a show they were doing about landlords evicting people during COVID. And, that's the left-wing stuff. That's what they like to do. They like to twist the facts. We actually filmed a rebuttal video at that time, and it was funny because even though for their Netflix show that they also posted on YouTube as well, I think it got like 6-7 million views on YouTube. Even though for that they utilized our footage without asking permission, which we're fine with. We have no issue with that. That's totally fine. You want to use the footage, go for it, right? You want to criticize, do some commentary, that's great. Take the footage, okay? So even though they used our footage without any permission, when we filmed our rebuttal, we used some of their footage from the episode they made about us. And then we got hit with a copyright strike from Netflix, which was pretty messed up. But to their credit, I sent them a message. I'm like, yo, what the hell? You took my footage to criticize me, so that I utilized the footage you took of me in a show about me and provided my commentary and my rebuttal on that, but you file a copyright claim. In a couple days, they took the copyright strike off. I'm assuming since it was like a Netflix production, they have something set up where like bots or low-level employees or something are going out there and filing all the copyright claims. But at any length, I'm not going to include any of the footage from that Netflix show, Hasan's show. Maybe I'll link the video where we did use the footage so you can click on that. I'm just not in the mood to have to deal with Netflix and go through a potential copyright dispute again. So I'm not going to link any of the footage. So the only footage that you're currently watching is our footage here. But so that show, right? just a total left-wing liberal show, just bashing landlords, right? Never mind the fact that that tenant was stealing for over 7 months, right? They just decided to make the entire show about how evil landlords are and how bad landlords are, and really tie it into Netflix. And, you get a lot of the lefties that they don't actually pay attention to the facts or anything. They just hear a fucking hot take or something, and they're over like, hold wives evicting this girl during COVID. Like, bro, this was like 2-3 years prior to COVID, okay? And then, that's just what some people do. In some people's eyes, in some people's mind, no matter what, the landlord is always the bad guy. Even if the tenant is driving a friggin' Cadillac Escalade, right? That's another comment I made in the original filming of the video. And holy crap, we got like 500, 600, 700 comments about people trying to like own me on that comment. The only reason they are trying to own me is because the point I was trying to make totally went over their head, right? So this chick is driving a Cadillac Escalade, and it's an old Cadillac Escalade, folks. So everybody, when I made the point that she's driving a Cadillac Escalade, everybody thought they were owning me. A bunch of freaking mouth breathers thought they were owning me. They're like, you idiot! You can't tell that that Cadillac Escalade is like 25 years old and it's not worth a lot of money? Yeah, you freaking ball box. Of course I can tell that Cadillac is old. Of course I can tell that is not a $100,000 Escalade, okay? I don't have to wear a helmet when I go outside of my house, you freaking simpleton. The point I was trying to make is that is just showing you how that particular person does not budget their money correctly, right? If you buy an old luxury vehicle, okay, because you want the status, you want the street cred of being somebody who drives an Escalade, but you don't make enough money to afford an Escalade, you should be driving like a Kia or something like more economical, right? So you take this person who's got a Kia income, and they're like, nope, I'm entitled. I deserve an Escalade, even though I don't make Escalade money. So they go and they buy a really old Escalade that they can't afford the upkeep on. They can't afford the gas. They can't afford to constantly fix it because it's always going to be breaking down because it's old. That just goes to show you that they value that street cred, that flashiness, and they don't spend their money appropriately, right? So when they're out there trying to do that stuff, trying to look cool for their friends, okay, spending the little money they have irresponsibly while stealing from their fucking landlord, that's why it's a big deal that she's driving an Escalade. It's not like she's doing everything in her power to pay her rent. It's not like she's out there working hard trying to make it. It's not like she's some single mom just trying to survive. No, she's a person who has a little bit of money and spends it on dumb shit and then steals from somebody else her housing and then gets all you lefties and liberals and freaking woke people to think she is the victim, you fucking tools. Ah, my God. And then while I'm on it, one other comment that we got in the video, which is hilarious, is so many people out there just calling us racist, which is crazy because, we hired, there's two races in this video. There's white people and there's black people. All the black people in the video are working for Holton Wise where they're law enforcement, okay? The tenant is a white lady. I don't know how many hundreds of you idiots were saying just, horrible white landlords evicting black people, which is fucking insane that you didn't take the time to actually watch the fucking video because the lady is also white, okay? So this is what happened with our eviction that ended up on Netflix. And the point is, some of y'all, no matter what the actual circumstances are, you just put your own narrative out there. And for most of you, that narrative is that the landlord is always the bad guy, no matter what the actual facts of the situation say. And for those of you who are just interested, those guys that are just driving past car wrecks and always want to watch them, those of you that want to see the actual unedited original eviction, here it is. Here's the deal. We're a couple minutes out. We're driving to the property. The crew called, and as I understand it, right now the tenants are actually grabbing all of their belongings and putting them out, trying to pack them up because the bailiffs are scheduled to come at 11:30. Currently right now it's 11:13 in the morning. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be watching this, and I'm expecting some type of hate from those liberal out there like, what the hell, Holton Wise, you guys are horrible. How could you throw a family out? It's snowing, blah, blah, blah. Look, here is the deal. First of all, it is April 15th right now, okay? Holton Wise doesn't even own this property. What a lot of folks don't seem to understand is that all landlords are not large corporations like Holton Wise. See, what had happened is this property is owned by a gentleman. He lives out in North Carolina. He's a hardworking guy. I believe he's an engineer by trade. And he's just trying to create a better retirement for himself and his family. So he's purchased some rental properties in the Cleveland market. Now, this particular property, he had hired a different company other than Holton Wise to manage it. And his tenant stopped paying rent in October of 2017. As I said, it's now April 15th, 2018. Okay, so his tenant didn't pay October rent, his tenant didn't pay November rent, his tenant didn't pay December rent. At that point, he contacted Holton Wise. He didn't know why his current property manager wasn't able to quickly handle the situation. So Holton Wise took the property over in January. We filed for eviction in February, and now today we are at April 15th. So this tenant has not paid rent October, November, December, January, February, March, April. That is 7 months that this person has been living in this guy's home without paying any rent. Now, the landlord or the previous property manager, I'm not sure how it went down because we were not involved, but they were trying to be the nice guy. They were trying to allow that tenant to catch up, and it bit him in the ass. Now this person has 7 months of non-payment. This guy is not a multi-millionaire. He's just a regular Joe like you, like anybody else out there, and he is literally getting killed with the amount of money that he's losing. So as we get closer to pulling up onto the street, you're probably going to see this tenant, scrambling, trying to put away all their belongings. You need to know that they have known this was coming for 7 months, and they chose to steal from this man. Now, when Holton Wise filed that eviction back in February, they know that the eviction is filed. They're noticed, and then we go to court 4 weeks later. We went to court. We won in court, and then the tenant was given today's date at court. They were given. It's called a writ of restitution. The tenant was given that. So the tenant has known today has been coming for 7 months, but they've known about the exact date of this for at least 14 days. And they have chosen to make it difficult for him to support himself and support his family. You need to keep all of that in mind when you see some of the footage that you are about to see.
Crossed me once, it's left some bitters.
All right, so we are at the house. We just pulled up to the house. I got my crew out there. That's John. And then we got all the court-appointed movers are all here. How much of their belongings are in the car? Or in the house, rather?
Probably about 75%. No one's there. I'm expecting they'll probably come back, though, because Dave said they pulled off right before.
Yeah, we thought the boyfriend was Thompson's car the whole time. Because he kept staring at us.
Well, yeah. Thompson's like, those guys videotaping. I'm like, all right, they're fine.
It's important to note that we're going to stay out of everyone's way. You see, I'm probably the only guy at Holton Wise that enjoys having a camera in my face at all times. Evictions are already a pretty stressful situation, so we do not want to add any stress to this situation. We do not want to bother the crew or get in their way. So we're going to let these guys do their thing.
Tenants are going to be showing up in a bit.
Sweet. Tommy, protect me if a bullet comes. Anyway, we can get you to move this here van so we can take that spot for cinematic effect.
Yeah, back up, I'll back up.
That is a bailiff right there. We have another bailiff up there. This Escalade right there is actually the tenant who is currently being evicted. She's kind of just running around, screaming, wanting to know where the landlord is. Remember, this person has known that this has been coming for 7 months. This person has been stealing from the owner of this property for 7 months now. And, today is the day. She's got done talking to the bailiff. Looks like she's going to be pulling off now. Looks like she's finally come to the realization that she is not going to be able to steal from this landlord anymore. And as she pulls away, grab her car there real quick. I want to point something out to you guys. As this girl pulls away, notice that she is driving a Cadillac Escalade. If that isn't the most ironic thing you've ever seen in your life, the fact that this girl, 7 months, giving her sob story to the bailiffs, giving her sob story to the crew out there, and she pulls off in her Cadillac Escalade. You got a hardworking American down there in North Carolina, tried to be the nice guy, tried not to evict her for those first 3 months, and now he is 7 months into this thing, and this girl's giving her sob story as she pulls away in a Cadillac Escalade. As you guys see, we got John Holton. Looks like he's got a huge saw. A lot of times these tenants, they'll change the locks, they'll barricade the doors so the eviction crew can't get in. They seem to think that if they throw away the key when it's eviction day, we won't be able to get in. But as you can see from John bringing a gigantic saw into this property, that's not the case. It don't matter what you do to that door. When it comes time for eviction day, Holton Wise is going to get into that house. Whether or not there's a door when we're done with this remains to be seen, but we will be in that property and we will be securing that property for this investor. The guys are starting to stack the tenants' belongings on the side of the house. See a mattress, lamps, just regular stuff. John told me the house was completely filled, so all the tenants' belongings going to end up stacked on that side of the house right there. Now, the way it works here in Cleveland is all of that stuff is going to be left out there, and whatever isn't stolen by scrappers, see, a lot of the scrappers, they will follow these bailiffs' cars, and they will steal all of that stuff. But whatever isn't stolen or retrieved by the tenants by 5 p.m. tonight, this moving crew is going to drive back to this property. They're going to grab everything, put it in their trunk, put it in their truck. They're either going to dispose of it, sell it, whatever they got to do. Now, as you're watching the guys take out the final set of this person's belongings, you're seeing all the mattresses, all the beds, everything just lined up on the tree lawn. Again, you might start to feel sad, and you might be thinking, oh, this is horrible. How could you post this? But again, remember, this person has had 7 months that they have chosen not to pay rent to this landlord. And this landlord is not a big corporation. Again, you see Holton Wise, you see the signs, you see the trucks, but you see Holton Wise, we represent individual landlords. We are a management company that works for mom and pop landlords. This particular landlord is just a regular guy with a regular family trying to make an honest living. And we got folks like this who for 7 months choose to steal from him while driving away screaming in a Cadillac Escalade. You see, if you're following me on my Instagram, I said I was going to show you the good and the bad. I am not one of those salesmen that's going to tell you everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows. It's not. Sometimes the real estate investment business is tough. It's savage. And what we've seen today, this is some of the worst it ever gets, guys. Nobody enjoys throwing an entire family's things on the tree lawn. But this is real. This is the type of stuff that happens. If you invest in real estate, eventually this hand will be dealt to you, and it's just something that you have to deal with. We got to get in there, remove the stuff, and move on.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Holton Wise TV for more financial information, education, and entertainment.